Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that I finally get to install our radio. So here is the old radio. It's acting crazy. Whenever you shut it off, it basically cuts off. Doesn't save memory. It's just, it's old. I want to put a doubled in with a backup camera, and I think that would be the most efficient thing to do, especially with the backup camera. You got a big vehicle like this, you definitely need a backup camera. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Stay tuned, subscribe, hit the like, notification bell. Come back and see me and see my other videos after you watch this one. You have to run one wire to your fuse box. So that's the fun part about this. So let's get started. First things first, let's look at the box of goodies, or the boxes of goodies. Now this is the backup camera. I like these backup cameras from Amazon. I mean, they're decent. I don't think they're the best in the world, but they're not expensive either. So I think it's a good buy. I've bought plenty of these, never had an issue. I've put them on all the elements that I've ever done backup cameras to. They say a little tool so you can flip the camera. So if you put the camera on the bottom, put the camera on top, you can flip the camera. That's what this is for. The wire, your power wire right here. Then the face kit. This is your face kit. You'll definitely need a face kit to do the doubled in radio. This is the one from Amazon. Here's the numbers and all that. It should work. It's nothing fancy. And I believe this one comes with the wires. I think that's how I got it. Let's pop this thing open. So here is your power and your stereo wire. This one right here. I'll give you all the butt connectors and everything. That is your antenna. Okay, I don't like using these little butt connectors. I like using mine. I'll show you which ones I'm talking about, but that's what this is. This is the antenna wire. GM, you have to have the conversion because it has a tiny antenna. It goes to the big antenna. And then you have your kit, which is basically your face kit, plates, anything you need to mount the radio. Now on this one, I'm not putting in the Sony. The Sony was the one that we put on our Unicorn. This one right here is our Pioneer. This Pioneer is a cheap little, I think we got it for like 80 bucks. It's just a media. It has no CD. It's decent. It's good. This is actually the radio wire right here with the RCAs. So that's really nice that you could use RCAs to hook up. I do not believe that this wire kit has an RCA option. You see that? So I'm just going to have to do the regular connection. And then, like I said, these are all element wires in here. This is the actual radio wire, and there should be one more wire. This one right here. That's your. This is your stereo wire. So this is your Bluetooth little mic. It really sucks. The Bluetooth on this radio is trash. I wouldn't even bother using it. I'm gonna install it because I already have it, but it's not really worth having it. And like I said, these are all element wires for a Honda Element, but I'm gonna save them anyway. I don't want to lose them. And then I have a bunch of little wire, like the screws that were on the that would go for this radio to mount. So I'm gonna keep these right here. I don't need any of this other stuff. I do need this one. All right, so let's get going. Alrighty, guys. So the first thing I like doing is I like to make sure to crimp and butt connect all my wires, and then once I got that. These little butt connectors are cool because they have little burners at the end, so you could melt them. I usually like doing this on the wired side, and then if I need to add multiple wires, I can do it to this side. Sometimes you have to connect two remotes to ground. You'll have to do the ground wire and then the ground wire from the bypass. Even sometimes if you want to do the steering control, that one requires a ground, so you can connect those three into one. Not a big deal. This should be pretty fast, and it's pretty quick. It's been a while since I installed the radio on a GM. I usually do them on Elements, but I do know about the wire issue. So is it still the same on this one? I'm sure it is. Once again, I'm just doing this to prep, and then once I have my prep work, I'll go ahead and start connecting. This is probably the most annoying part of this whole thing. It's just sitting there getting all the wires ready. But once you get all the wires ready, it's pretty easy. Yeah. Alright, that's pretty good. Let's burn them. I would not burn these until you're 100% sure that you know where your wires are at, because if you don't, you'll have to be cutting this thing off again to get another one in. Alright, there you go. Alright guys, now that they're all burnt, just a note here. I know that there is a proper size gauge butt connector that you're supposed to use for these wires. Somebody's gonna go mad, you know, crazy, and you know, go off the wall on how this is wrong, and that's great. I know these by color. I like using the blue for stereo. I'm assuming, I've never used them, but I'm assuming that the proper ones are supposed to be red. I don't know. I've always connected stereos with the blue butt connectors. I know them by color. I'm a color person. I'm not a numerical person. I see colors, and that's how I remember things. So I always use the blue. I like to burn them, and once they're burnt, they're ready to go. That's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and take basically splice all these wires, get these wires ready, and then when it's time, I'll connect these to those. So I'll have these ready to go, and I'll have them rock and rolling. Now see right here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a remote wire that you're supposed to put together. So these two are actually going to stay together, but most likely they're going to be connected to the remote. The stereo is coming out with the remote. This is the remote right here, and this is your remote wire for your bypass. So once you hook this up, you could leave it like this to where it's open, and it should be fine. If you ever decide to put an amp, you could. It's not going to affect it. But that's what this is. This is basically, this is one of those wires that I know for sure I'm going to need. So it doesn't really hurt to, I guess, open it up. But in that sense too, just remember that the actual wire itself, hold on, I forgot how to use my tools. Wait, yeah, it's like this. Okay, there you go. Jeez. All right, so since I know that my bypass, this is my little bypass right here, these are gonna get together. Oh, that was too short. Hold on, let me just do a little more. Oh jeez, that's too tight, that's why. There you go. All right, it did it. All right, so these two I know for sure I'm not gonna connect with any amps or preamps. This is coming straight from the radio to my remote, and I could just hook these two up right here. You see this? Now that's my bypass. Okay, if you're not doing a remote and you are doing a bypass, that's all it is. So this is my remote to my bypass. This will let my bypass know to basically turn on. The stereo's on. Okay, that's what the bypass does. I like having it mainly because sometimes if I'm in a parking lot, I'm waiting for something, parts, anything, then I could just turn it on. I leave this open because if I ever need to do a remote, I could just pop it in there, remote to an amp. This right here is your ground. Okay, this is the ground. Basically, no, this is parking. I'm sorry. This is a parking. Now, the stereo basically receives a signal from the parking brake that you've turned on your parking brakes, or you have your parking brakes on. It receives a signal, lets the stereo know, hey, this guy's in park, it's okay to turn on the video. Now this one is still good. I never use it because once I put my bypass, I'm good to go. Now these bypasses, you can get them on eBay and probably some local shops. This right here, this is basically my ground wire. Okay, this ground wire right here, all right, is the ground wire that's going to get hooked up to my stereo. And this is what I was telling you. Sometimes you got a ground wire, you want to keep your ground wire open because you never know when you might use it. So this ground wire right here is basically going to go to the ground wire that's here, this. But I got to make sure I don't need anything else before I splice that ground wire in there. So I'm going to wait, because most times you need this ground wire and then you'll need this ground wire together in order to make this work. This here right here is your ground wire. So your ground wire gets opened. Hold on to make sure. There you go. All right. This ground wire and this ground wire, they go together. That's your bypass. That's it. It's just that easy. Okay. Now, once you have your bypass, okay, this is your bypass. That's your remote. Have an open source. Then I have an open source on the parking, which I don't need. And then now you have the ground wire right here. This ground wire is basically just for that basically bypass, which now I'm going to take this ground wire and hook it up here. This would be my ground wire. I don't need any other ground wires because this would be the only one I need, but I got to double check to make sure this is ground because I don't remember and I don't want to go too ahead of myself. So let's go. All right guys, so time to take the stereo off. Uh-oh, it's not a, I thought it was a, this is an 8. Oh man, it's even smaller than an 8. It's like a 7 or a 6. All right, well, let's go get it. Alrighty, just a 7 right here. All right, so once you get it out, you can see that you have wires that are basically everywhere. You see that? All right, 1. Yep, and then that's your antenna. Old wire. So it's pretty basic in there. A lot of room. I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's a preamp. That's your stereo right here. And then see, yeah, see this look, yeah, you see that? That's a that was a aftermarket camera. So somebody had already put a camera or something in there, but I don't think it's any good. So it's all good. Let's try to find the source of that wire, see if we can cut it, and we're gonna run new wire. I had to take some of these panels out because I need to find out where that other wire is. Maybe the good thing about some of these older cars too is the panels are easy to take off. A couple screws here, a couple screws there. You're ready to rock and roll. So you can see where they kind of ran this wire. See that right there? There you go. And then they have it in here for some reason. There you go. And then let's find out what's underneath this. Because it looks like the wire is running through here. You see that? That's the wire. So that's it right there. Maybe I could use that to feed my new wire. I don't know. Let's look at it. So here's the wire right here. Then it goes to the back. You see it's right here. They ran it underneath. And then it comes out through here. But they cut it. So that's kind of dumb. But it looks like the wire was already here. You see that? This is your power wire. That's your video wire. It almost makes you wonder if it even works. But then where's your power? Where's your power going to is my next question. Is it going to the, feels like, see right here. Let's take this off. Let's find out. Alright, let's take this one light off. And then let's see if it's got a connection. Maybe it does. Oh yeah, look. So they have it connected right here to the reverse. And then they have a ground right there. So we might get lucky. Maybe we don't have to run the wire. You know what I mean? Because the connection looks to be the same. Let me put this in real quick. Alright. So this is the connection. Camera used to be there. This is where they had it. It's pretty dirty. But it seems like all the wires are still good. So let's try to connect it and then let's see what happens. Alright guys, let's see. I'm gonna take this one here. This is basically your radio. And it goes like that. Alright, now the thing about this one, like I said before, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure these radios do not have a constant power. And that's what we're gonna check right now. Okay. Alrighty, so now that we got a good ground, okay, turn it on, and we're gonna check the power. This should be a power wire in a regular car. There's nothing there. See that? This is a constant wire, which basically that was my mistake. So it's the constant wire that GM has, but it's the power wire that they don't have, because the power wire is kind of it's an internal wire. This truck, man, they must have had some equipment in this truck before. I'm starting to find all these wires in here. Like, what the heck? This is like I think there's a CD changer wire, if I'm not mistaken. This is like a CD changer. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that right now. Let's stick to the program. This is your antenna wire. Your kit came with the antenna wire, which is this thing here. Remember that? Okay. So you just hook up the antenna, and that takes care of your antenna. All right, now you have your antenna for your stereo. Okay. So basically the deal is, I don't need remote wire because I'm not running an amp. The dimmer I don't really care for. It just doesn't really matter. You could check the bag and it'll tell you which of these wires is which. I have to double check to make sure that the wire for my ground is this one, which I'm sure it is. And then all these are speakers, and then you'll have the speakers for the right, left, whatever. And then you just got to check to see which one is your main wire for, I guess, like the left speaker, right speaker. But these GMs are not really that complicated. Now, we looked at the wire in the back, so here it is right here. Now, I will need my RCA video input. All right, so the input, this is the input. This will go into the input for the video backup camera. The radio should have one there. So that's the one we're going to look at right now. Okay, so we're going to hook up the radio, but what we need to do is we needed to find a power wire that basically only comes on when the ignition comes on, and that's what we're going to do right now. Alrighty, so if you're looking at the fuse box, it has a couple accessories, but this one right here, it's basically one accessory wire, number 10 right there. Then you got the cruise control, ignition. Ignition is a number 10, basically that one right there. You could probably use that one. It's not a bad one. There's another ignition wire right here, number 10. That's another ignition. So this one. So you got a couple. So the idea is, when you hit it right now, there's no light. So that means that it's completely off. These are 3 accessory wires. But when you turn your car on, then you're gonna have power, and then you have power. So you could use one of these 3 basically to push your radio, because you need a power wire for your radio. I don't see the radio wire here. Let me see. Radio, driver lock, cruise, wiper, radio, flasher, locks, auxiliary power number 2. That one, number 20, is probably for your cigarette lighters. Usually that's, the 20 is pretty big. And I think that one, number 20, yeah, see, it's going to be on even with the vehicle off, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, this is your cigarette lighter. So I would say, if anything, we could probably use the, this is number 10 ignition. And then you have another number 10 ignition, and then this is an accessory. So I'd probably use one of these just because it's easier to get to. And then we'll call it a day. They give you the wire. They give you this little splicer that you could probably put into your fuse. And then they have a little tab right there where you can connect it. So we're going to try to do that. Alright guys, now once you feed your wire, now like I said, you have your 2 main power sources, which is your constant wire. GM gives you that one. but they don't give you your power wire, which is this one. This is the one that turns the radio on, but now it's there. And like I said, if you have a better way of hooking up that wire, please share it. Drop a video link. We want to know. That's kind of how I always done it. I just always plugged it into a fuse. So hopefully, you know, I've never had an issue in the past. I know that you can basically hook it up to the main wire, splice the wire. I'd hate to cut the wire, but I think this will be fine. So let's keep going and see where it goes. Now, if you're not sure about your wiring, just remember that your little bag here has the wire. The problem is that this wire is not 100% accurate, at least for some of the models. Like, we know for sure the red, which is this one right here, does not give us power at all. All right, and that's on this. This is a 2005 Chevy Tahoe, and a lot of these 99 to 06 Chevrolets were kind of the same. Blue is going to be power antenna for a factory amplifier, which we don't have, so we can scratch that one. Black and white is the factory amplifier ground, which I don't have. Once again, there was another wire connection here, this one, that I'm definitely not going to use. We'll find out if there's any, I guess, things that'll get shut off. And then it gives you the speakers, your speakers right here by color, so that's pretty good. And then, you know, you have your brown for mute, not using that. You got the orange and black for illumination dimmer, and then the orange and white for, you know, illumination to turn on. So there's different ones. And then, you know, the factory amplifier remote turn on is the blue and white, which we don't have an amp. And on this one, the stereo is basically going to produce the remote that we need for our what do you call it, the parking switch. So it's pretty basic what we're gonna have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the ground, and then we'll go from there. Now, I'm not doing anything crazy to this car. I'm not adding amp or anything, so I don't really need to add any extra wires, just my main wires, and then that's it. This right here is my power, which I already know we'll have to go to the power. Now I need to get some butt connectors because I did not bring any, so give me a second. See, like all of these, I need to rewire these. At least my power, well, no, my powers are already here, except for this one. I didn't have a power for this one because this is the one that I ran, but everything else is here. Like, this is my yellow constant right here. I can definitely splice that one, and then I can go ahead and mount this one up real quick. There you go. So this one will go to this one. That's the thing about these older vehicles too. A lot of the wiring is pretty basic. They didn't really have anything crazy, except for when you get to that where you have to create your own wire. That kind of sucks. So we'll see. Alrighty, so I got my reverse. This is the reverse that's gonna go to the camera. This one right here lets the camera know that it is time to rock and roll. So we're gonna go ahead and mount that one. Now, since it is a green wire and I want to keep it in the green family, I did get the I had some green wire there, so I'm just gonna mount that in real quick. This one is gonna go to the signal to the relay of the car, and to let the stereo know that it needs to switch from stereo to reverse, and then that way it'll send a signal to the stereo, and then it knows, like, hey, we need to switch over. So that's what this is. Okay. There you go. All right, we'll let that cool off. This is your power. It's already in. I don't need it anymore, so we're gonna go ahead and burn it. Okay. These are all good. That's your ground. Ground's good. That's a stereo ground. I don't need that one. If you're not sure about it, I wouldn't do the burning until you're 100% sure. Where's my power? This is my power wire right here. I need to cut the power wire down right here. Okay, and then we're gonna splice it up. That's our next wire to splice up, so we're gonna do that one real quick too. Alrighty, now that we have our power wire, this is a light wire, don't need yet, but so what we have now is we have established all the connections that we need. This is your parking wire that I've made already. I'll figure that one out later. These are my speakers, and then the mute I don't need, the illumination, which I gotta figure out which one of these will be the one to work, which I really don't know, just because, like I said, I haven't messed with a GM in a while. But I'm gonna probably do the white and orange wire on this one, just because it looks like that's what's available, and then I'll go from there. So if you look at this one right here on the label, it says orange white dimmer, and that's really what I need. I need the dimmer, and then illumination and dimmer also. So it could be any of these. So it's kind of, you know, like orange and white. I'll do the orange and white and take my chances with it. And then if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then I guess it's cool too. It's an aftermarket radio. Plus, you know, like I said, GM is kind of weird when it comes to stuff like that. So let's burn this one. I'm not changing it. Now you could test it. Obviously your vehicle. Sorry. All right, so these are my speakers. This is my signal for my camera to turn on, and then all these are speakers on this side too. And you could see where they have their green. So the green is one set of, like, it's, you know, basically green is like one speaker, positive, negative. And then you'll have your purple. That's another set of speakers, positive and negative. See that right there? No problema. Then you have your white. Your white is another set of speakers. See that? So you basically separate them, and then you got it good. And then you have your grays. These grays right here are another set of speakers. And then now what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and try to hook it up. This is going to be my main power. Let me see. Let's twist it. All right, now since I do need my backup camera, I already hooked up the wire that I found there to my backup camera, and I hope that maybe with luck we won't have to run that long wire and the power for the wire will work. So that's your stereo right now, what it should look like. Hold on, let me move some of this stuff. I don't think there's anything touching. Speakers are all clear. But now we're going to turn it on. It should turn on. There you go. All right. Now I believe if I turn the car on and put it on reverse, the camera should work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the wire that's back there now, and then we're going to go ahead and hook up the camera. All right, so what I'm hoping for is that the wires that are still here will work. So somebody cut the wire off right here, but they left all the power stuff. This is the power cable, and then that's the video. So if you hook it up, basically it should work. Now you just got to put the reverse. The camera should kick on, and it should light up on the screen over there. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go in there. We're going to test it out. See if it works. Alright, we can all witness. Let's see. So that right there should turn on the radio, I think. No? Uh-oh. Let's see. That should, the radio should turn on right there. So that means that this constant wire that I have is not good for this setup, because right now it should be on. So I'm gonna have to switch this wire to a different fuse that lights up whenever the truck is on, I guess, ignition mode. So right now, that's basically the ignition mode. This is ignition right now, it's on. So that's the only way the radio will come on, which is not good. So then if I put the car in reverse, the camera should be on, but now I gotta find it. So right here, there it is. So the backup camera wire that's there does work, so I don't have to run the wire. That's amazing. It saved me a lot of time. Unfortunately for you, if you're doing this, you're gonna run the wire, and that really sucks. So good luck. Anyways, but so there it turns off because I have it off. The deal is this radio doesn't know when the camera is on, so in order for you to let the radio know that it needs to turn on the or switch to the camera, that's why you need this green wire. But my problem right now is when the car sits like this, this wire should be on. So I'm gonna have to find a accessory wire, which basically is those little wires that we were looking at, that turns on. See, this one here is on right now. So if I turn off the key, it should shut off. See that? Okay. So when you turn on the key, only when you turn on the key once, this fuse should be on. This one is not. So most likely this is the good fuse that I need right here. So I'm going to switch this wire to this fuse. Alright, now that I basically changed the wire, you should have radio signal right now. That's the way it should be. That's an accessory. That's basically ready to turn on. And then you click on your car. So it should be good. Now we know that the backup camera wire works. Now I just got to find the brake cable wire to let the signal know that it's ready to go. And we got to hook up the speakers. So that's next. Alright guys, that's another thing you want to do is you definitely want to have some nice little zip ties. Something that you could zip tie your stuff with, so your wires are not just running crazy. Always leave your wires really nice and clean. It'll save you a lot of hassle if you ever need to change anything, adapt anything, or fix anything. So don't be lazy. Couple zip ties. Buy a small bag, small ones. This is my green wire for my camera. I'll throw this one in the back soon. Then you have your basically this one right here is your camera wire. See this right here, and you'll tuck this one in when it's time. But you could also, you know, whatever extra slack you have, zip tie it. No big deal. See that? There you go. Easy. Now you can just throw it back there when it's time, and that's it. Now you have a clean workstation here, or work area. And then this red wire is part of my power connections, so I'm going to zip tie that one by itself right here with the other power wires. I usually like separating the power and the audio. Some people say it causes distortion, interference. I wouldn't doubt it. So I believe that, especially if you hook up ground wires next to your audio wires. No bueno. So all right, so these are all basically my power wires. Any wire that basically resembles anything for power, it goes in. All right, there you go. So now cut that, and then that one's good, and we're ready to go. Now we got to do the audio. All right guys, I'm gonna use this old shoebox here, and what I did is I put the radio up high. Now I did that so I can connect the speaker wires and figure out which wire is really which, because I've had issues where I connect the purple to the purple, green to green, and then depending on the car, sometimes the purple and the green are the back, white and the gray are the front, and then sometimes it's backwards. So this will save me a lot of hassle and time. And if you are not sure, this is a good way to do it. Just put it up high so it's not hanging there. Splice up your wires and then test it. That's it. You know, it's easy. Now, for this particular thing, what I can do is, it has a USB drive. You see that right there? So my USB drive is obviously for a USB, but it's in the back. So I would definitely have to run a USB cable or some kind of wire to basically hit the front, which I have a solution for that. So the solution for the USB is this deal here. This thing is basically a USB connector, and what it does, it has basically an outlet for the USB that has little ribs, so you can cut a hole, square hole, or anywhere that you can mount it. You can probably mount it in here if there's a hole in there. And what it does, it basically gives you a nice connection, so you could wire up your USB. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop this thing down somewhere, and then maybe we could even plug it up here, plug it on the side. I don't know, we'll have to look into it, what a good place to hook up this thing would be, because you know, you'll need it, and you'll see what I mean. It's definitely a good idea to have it, because it'll help you hook up your USB. So we're gonna go ahead and run it real quick, and let's see how it goes. So now that I got it down here, all I have to do really is hook up my USB. Okay, now it's there. The plug goes into the back of your radio, and it stays inside your radio. Okay, now you got a USB. For this audio test, I definitely want to use the USB, because I don't want static. I need real audio. So you can just come in there, and then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna hook up your, see, that's the camera signal. I don't need that right now. You just need the USB. It's gonna load, see that? And then you'll have constant power. All right, so once you hook up the USB and your the USB, it just goes from there. This is the connector, obviously you saw that right now, and this is the radio now. Now I want to do USB because I just need sound, and I don't want to deal with, you know, whether the sound is perfect or not, or staticky. So this right now is giving me sound. It's plain, okay? This is straight up plain right now. So this is the white wire right here, and according to the bag, where's the little bag at? All right, so according to the bag, the left front would be white. So this white wire right here, this would be these wires. So we're gonna go ahead and splice them up real quick, and then we're gonna test them out. Now what you don't want to do, I'm telling you that right now, is you don't want to touch these wires when you're doing it hot. So if you're doing this hot, please take your time and don't screw up. And that's all you're gonna do. So when I connect this wire, now I should be, the thing is also on this stereo, you got to remember that you're gonna have audio on all four, and even on the stereo, if you don't know what audio you have, you're gonna have to figure it out. So this right here is black with black. There you go, right here. Okay, and then you're gonna have audio right now. Okay, so that is audio. But here's a question now: is this on the stereo the right channel? So how do you do that? Well, you can go to the stereo, go to the settings, go to the audio, and then the balance, and we want this side right here completely, right? This is the side we're doing, and then we want the front. Okay, so this is that the back? That's the back. So this is the front, or at least I think that's the front. It should be the front. Now if that one works and we still get audio from the same location, then we're good to go. So negative with the negative. Where's the negative? This is negative right here, and then we should have negative to this one. So that right there is correct. So now that you know, you could actually splice that, no big deal. See? All right, and then, oh no, the stupid wire fell. Can you believe that? See, even I screw up sometimes. All right, let's put that one in, and then we're gonna go ahead and put this one in there. You see this one? I screwed up. I crimped it too soon, and now it's no good. And this is what I'm telling you about. Sometimes, unless you're confident and you can do it, do not crimp your do not heat your wire, because then you might have to change it. So let's put another one in there. All right, so I know there's professional shops that do this, and you could probably pay them to do it, but if you feel like messing with it, this is just a good way to do it. Audio system's really not that bad. Just make sure you're hooking up your right fuses and all that other jazz. You don't want to burn your car down because you were trying to install a radio. That would not be cool. All right, so see that right there, audio on that side. Now you know. So the bag will tell you again. Now you have the front. So left front. Now you have the right front, which would be the grays. These are your grays. So on this stereo, it would be the same one. You see that right there? And we're gonna do the same thing. And once again, everybody, you don't have to do it this way. If you can figure out the diagram online, go for it. I'm just showing you that there is other ways to do it. It does take a little more time, but you could do it. So this right here, you see that? Very nice. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go back and change it, because now I know that this is the front, and you're gonna lose audio on the one that you did already, so don't freak out. And now you're gonna have this side audio, but since there's nothing connected, there's gonna be no audio. So now this is your gray. Look for your negative. Your negative should have a little black line. There you go. Wham. I'm gonna hold it tight this time before I splice it though. There you go. And then here comes the other one, and then you're gonna get sound as soon as you hook this one up. Bam, sound. See what I mean? In case you're wondering, that's Joy Division. All right, purple. All right, so I'm assuming that this is correct. The audio's good, so we're gonna go ahead and put it in the center. There you go. So you're good to go. Alrighty, so now that we know that it works, all we gotta do is hook up the other ones. Green to green. And that's it. Now, one last thing that I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to basically get my let me see, I gotta find the green negative, which I believe is this one. I'm gonna have to get my parking brake. I don't want to run the wire all the way to the back, so I'm sure there's going to be a parking brake somewhere here that you could tap into, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Now remember guys, make sure to subscribe, hit the like. Sorry for the ranting long video. If it helped you out, just leave a comment, let me know. I do appreciate the comments. If you have a better way to do this, leave a link. Drop it. I don't mind people giving us information. I want to know too, because if I can improve how I do things, then I say go for it. And I have some junk stuck in this thing. There you go. Alrighty. I don't mind improving even what I do. Sometimes this is why I always do a couple of the same videos here and there. Now, for my next stuff, now I've been working on this Tahoe because I've been trying to get it right. Like I said, I am selling it, but I do like to keep it. Well, I can't even see the wires. Hold on. Oh, purple. Where's that black line? This is my black line. Yep, right there. All right. I've been keeping this one for sale because, like I said, I want to buy another Element or a Honda Civic. I'm trying to get either a manual, well, definitely manual. I need a manual car, but it's for one of my kids. I need him to start getting into the whole car biz and understanding the necessity of cars, and that's what we're gonna do. So I need to find a 5-speed manual Element or a Honda Civic. All right, now that will give us full audio now, all the way around. Got it? So let's try it. Here we go. Yep. So that gives you full audio. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to radio. We gotta find a Houston radio station. Alright, there you go. Full audio, no problem. That's a jam. Alright. But we're ready to go, people. So let's go ahead and disconnect everything, mount the face, go ahead and mount it in there, and then we'll be ready to go. Oh wait, let's make sure that the backup camera works. So backup camera, that's the backup camera. I think it should work on reverse signal. There you go. So it works. Alright, we're good to go. Now we just got to get the reverse brake deal, and then we're good. Alright guys, before we do that, Amazon just dropped off the new light bezel. This is the light bezel that I had bought, but it was green, so I had to order another one. And this one's white. The LED is white versus the other one. The LED was green. So I'm gonna replace it before I put the bezel in there, because then it'll be done. What the hell? All right, that's annoying. Can't open the box. What am I going crazy here? All right, here it is. Same box, only this one is LED white, so it should be fine. So let's go ahead and replace it, and then at least we'll have that done, right? So all you need basically is a flathead screwdriver. You have your tabs on the bottom, tab on top. See what I'm saying? It should be pretty easy. There you go. That's it. Take the wire out. I'm not going to return this one. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it and call it a day. I don't really mind. You know what I mean? It's all good. Alright. That was my screw up. I didn't check. So I'm not going to be a little bitch about it. But since I am putting the bezel back in there, let's go ahead and, let me see. Can you see? Yes. Alright. It's good. Alright. Now, let's go back to the bezel. Alright. Everything's ready. Let's see how the stereo fits. Once you put this in there. There you go. Uh-oh. All right. And you see the stereo looks good. That was the main problem. And then right here, once you snap everything in, oh, ready to go. These screws are for the bottom. I know that because I just took them off. So they're going to go in here. But that pretty much puts everything at ease here. Everything looks good. Stereo still works. Put reverse camera. Oh, what happened? Something's not right. We lost signal. Oh, I know why. Because reverse is only when the car's on. Alright, don't freak out. Alright, so radio, USB drive. Now let's look into the USB, and then video, USB, and then we got PCU. Let's see, wham. There you go.
Tomorrow's party tonight, so I'm gonna be a little late.
Oh no, this is the
Sorry,
there he goes.
Man, no can do. Grandmaster plug.
So the parking, this is the one where the little parking brake that I had didn't work, but I never replaced it, so it didn't really matter.
Funk gutter.
There you go. See, so it doesn't work because the little sensor sucks. So I got to get a different sensor if I want it to work. I'm gonna go back to, let me see, USB, and then go to music, and then that's it, and you're good to go. All right, that's it. Yep, sounds good. And then this is Bluetooth also, so I don't need the Bluetooth adapter that I used to use. Everything just runs off the stereo, so I think it's good. So let's go ahead and put it back together. Oh, and then I gotta do the backup wire. Yeah. Now once you put in your backup camera, you'll have to adjust the signal. Don't forget that. So what I mean by that is, you see how it's facing down? It's a little too low, so you're gonna have to adjust the radius just a little up. So that's one thing that you have to do. All right, so once you got your adjustment, let's check it. Backup camera looks good. All right, now we just got to find the signal. We know the radio works, the Bluetooth works, the USB works, so we're good to go. All right, so let's put it in park, and then let's go find that signal. Hey guys, so the last bit of this puzzle is the green wire for the parking brake. So you got to find the obviously the green wire that sends the signal to the backup camera or the radio to let it know that it's in reverse. And after looking and looking, I finally found a very good post that said, basically, if you're looking at this box right here on the 2005 Tahoe, this right here, this little green wire is basically the signal for the reverse. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna install it right now, like just push it in there. I'll probably tap it in because I don't want to cut the wire, but this will help us see the signal. And then as you can see, it's on park now. There's no camera, but if you hit the brakes, hit reverse, boom, now you got signal. So that pretty much concludes the full install on this radio. Once again, I'll show you which wire it is. And there it is. It's nothing major. It's a little light green wire. Very nice. Just hook it up to that and you're ready to go. So we should be good. All right guys, let's go ahead and put everything back, and then we'll tap that wire in, and then we're good to go. All right, so once again, I don't really like using the tappers, but it's okay, I guess. Good thing is the wire's got a little bit of slack. I'm gonna try to go with a big, something I can open it up a little bit without cutting the wire too much. Alrighty, blue tap. It's a little smaller. See how it feels. Oh, that one went in nice. There you go. All right, so where's my dang it, I didn't bring it. I did. Blue tap. You don't need that much wire now that we know where it's at. Just need a little bit. All right, right here. Cut it there, and then I'll give it some slack right here. Yep. Now we'll test it out, and then if it works, I'll put everything back together, and that'll be fun. All right, so now connect it. All right, we can test it out real quick. If it works without a flaw, then we're good to go. So radio's on. Go to reverse. Uh-oh. Oh no. Thought it would work. I guess not. Well, yeah, of course it's gonna work. The plug is sitting on the outside. See that? Yeah, you gotta be careful. Don't freak yourselves out. Sometimes when you're in a rush, you kind of mess yourself up. Yeah, that's what happened. The plug didn't even go in. There you go. Now it's in. So it should be on reverse. There you go. Don't freak out, people. Don't freak out. All right. And then reverse. And we are good to go. All right, guys. I got to put it back together. That's a long video. Sorry to make you watch all that. You can fast forward it. If it's too confusing, just come back and watch it again. It's all good. Always keep your parking brake on when you're messing with this. Be careful. If you're testing your rear, make sure the car's off. But I do believe that we are done. This concludes everything I wanted to do to the Tahoe. If you watched the videos, we did the belts, water reservoir. I'm waiting for the new motors to come in, the little squishies. I already changed the headlight switch, which is really driving me crazy. Got the same color. It's not as bright as these, but it's okay. It'll light up. Nothing in the world is perfect. Radio's in. That's a big one. Backup camera. Saved myself some time with the old wire that was there. I got my USB drive right here. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna connect that. I'm not too worried about it though. It's all good. And then backup camera setup. So I'm gonna clean up the mess here, put everything back together, and we're good to go. Guys, thanks for watching. Be careful out there. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like, notification bell, and have fun with your installs and messing around with your cars. Be good out there.